Hey everyone, it's time for our weekly, actually monthly crypto coaching call. And this one is going to be quite exciting, I think, because we're at a very, very important place in the markets and there are a lot of things happening. And we're going to jump right into the charts. But I wanted to start with something that I think it's very important here. I had a question in chat that was like, hey, what's going to happen? Like, are we going to have an end of year rally in stocks? Is crypto going to follow stocks with a sell-off or not? Actually, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows what will happen. Yeah, we can look at the scenarios and the probabilities, which we are going to do in the call. But at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going to happen. And whatever I'm saying, it will be just my opinion. And the most important thing is to actually be prepared for either scenarios. So if we are selling off, you need to be ready. And we have discussed this already extensively for months. And if for some reason crypto and stocks decide to reverse here and the Fed, for example, eases up on everybody, that's also fine. You need to be positioned so that you can benefit in both scenarios. And if this is the situation, you actually be excited because you'll be feeling like stress-free. Yeah, we might see a sell-off, but if you're prepared with the cash on hand and you know where you want to put your money and you have your plan, that will be very, very excited moment for you, because these are the moments where you make really life-changing amount of money if you do this correctly, of course. And even if you don't, if you're not perfect, you just have to be doing okay while the markets are selling off, and this will pay out in the long term for sure. So let's jump right into the charts, and let me just share my screen here. I wanted to start this because I think it's very, very important, to kind of think about this like this, to be prepared and just to make sure that the market doesn't get you off guard. This is, I think, the most important thing. So if you look at this is the Bitcoin's monthly chart, and we're going to start here. First of all, last month was pretty much flat. We were just 3% down. We had a little bit of a rally together with stocks, but quickly we reversed, and we are still at this major support level around, what was that, 19k, 20k, testing 18k last month, but we're still holding. This is the good news. And if we compare this with stocks, which I think is the biggest news of this month. If we compare this to the S&P, you'll see that the S&P for the month is down like almost 10%, 9.5%. So that is a huge difference. And to be honest, in the past year or so, we haven't seen this. Usually, whatever the stock market does, the crypto markets follow. And this hasn't been the case. So the question here that everyone's asking is, what's going to happen? Is crypto finally officially decoupling from the stock market, or are we about to experience a big sell-off in crypto? And again, the answer is not exactly clear. We don't really know what's going to happen here. However, we can make plans, projections, and we can execute our plans whenever we have clearer signs of what's going to happen. And we're going to start with the S&P because I think still there's a high probability of one scenario to play out, and this is a fake out breakout. And let me just turn on my drawings here. So this is the S&P weekly chart, and if you look, I've marked this level around 3650 as a key support level, even back here in 2020. So this was like 2 years ago already. Imagine that. We have also in the last week or so, as you can see, several days where we respected this support level, and there was quite a volatile week, as you can see, but still we had closes above this level until Friday. Friday, we really had a big fat red candle to the downsides. So everyone now is very, very bearish, with the Fed doing what they're doing, Jerome Powell pretty much trying to break the markets with what's happening with the war, the escalations there, the situation in the UK, and how they started printing money again while raising interest rates. We are in a very uncertain times, and the market is reflecting this. However, whenever we all think something will happen, usually it's not exactly what it happens. And that's why I'm looking at this scenario. How can the market cause the maximum amount of pain for everyone? And I think this is a good moment for the market to cause this kind of pain. If we had a fake out breakdown here, so pretty much if we reverse from here, I think very few people would expect this to happen. So that's why I think it's also a scenario that we need to be looking at, because I think I wouldn't say it's the highest probability scenario, but I want to have it in my mind whenever I'm positioning right now on the markets. And why I'm saying this, because we also might have a reason actually here to bounce off this level around 35.80, and that's the weekly 200 moving average. We had also some reactions here back also in 2020, but this is one thing that I think many people are watching at this moving average, but not as many, in my opinion, compared to this level of support that we have right here. So what could happen is that we could reverse from here, and this, in my opinion, will be the highest probability, the highest pain-causing scenario. Of course, the other scenario which I'm looking at, and by the way, if this plays out, I'm really just sitting on my hands, and we're going to jump into crypto right away. But pretty much, if this happens and crypto doesn't sell off before it happens, I'm just patiently waiting. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. And why is this? Because if we look at the Bitcoin's chart, I think we're at a very, very key moment here. And this is again the weekly chart of Bitcoin. And you can see that this week, we're actually even a little bit green, which compared to what we are seeing in stocks, let me just quickly compare. In stocks, we're down on the week around 3%, and Bitcoin is up like 2% on the week. So, we might see the decoupling, but I'm still not really convinced. So the higher probability scenario that we're looking at is the bear case, but we're going to look at this in a moment. I just really want to discuss this trend line here of the bear market with the lower highs back from the all-time high from November 21. And you see that we're already squeezing into these levels right here, and price is pretty much respecting this bear trend for the moment, and we're squeezing into this descending triangle. So what could happen here? I think it's either way, if we don't break below this level around 1800 right here, somewhere in the next week or so, we could still chop around. Let me just draw this. So we could still chop around after we break out of this trending line downwards. But we could also see this again, potentially volatility slowing down. Not too many people are trading, not too much volume. And if you just turn on the volume here, you'll see that in the past months, pretty much it's been flat. So if this continues to be flat and even trends down, I think even this case with a potential breakdown is very, very probable, especially because if we look at the previous bear cycle, you'll see that we had exactly that. So we had this descending line here, and we had this support level here that was holding for quite a long time. And then we had, as you can see here, let me just show you also, the volume was dropping significantly right before it actually broke down. And we had a sell-off for a couple of weeks, actually for a month or so. And then we established this accumulation range. So I think this is the scenario, in my opinion, that is the highest probability at the moment, just because everything that's happening on the markets, and we have very important quarter in stocks, which we're going to see how the earnings are, especially of the mega cap companies in the NASDAQ. And if this is not as good as people would like to be, and I think that's a very high probability scenario, just because of the strong dollar, and a lot of these companies are making revenues outside of the States. So this will cause their earnings to fall. And there were already hints in the previous quarter. I'm sorry, but my baby is in the background. Maybe you can hear it. Anyway, so I think that's there has been already hints of this happening, in the past quarter, and there will be more of this probably happening in this quarter. And we just have to see how earnings will play out. Maybe they will surprise everyone and they will be great. However, I'm not betting on this. And for me, the highest probability scenario right now is to have a breakdown at some point. I don't care if it's going to be, this first one that is respecting the trend line, or we're going to see whatever we saw in the previous bear run, sorry. I think this is very, very high probability right now. And I'm positioning myself for this. How I'm doing this, I keep a lot of cash on hand. I'm not making any trades right now. I'm not taking any major risks. Maybe here and there, if I see a setup that I enjoy and I like the risk to reward, I might take it. But I'm not taking any massive bets right now. I'm just waiting for this to play out, waiting for the market to make up its mind and have a decisive move either to the upside or to the downside. And I'm also, as you know, hedging my portfolio from around here, around 22,000. I took a short, took some profit here at the test of this support level, and I'm still holding it. I might add if we see a breakdown of this level. If not, I'm just going to keep it. And if the market reverses, I'll probably cut the remaining of it at a break even, and then I'll just pocket these profits that I made right here. So that's pretty much the highest probability scenario that I'm looking at. The third one that I think is also second when it comes to probability is to just keep this level, just start establishing the range here and just drop around here for months, I would say even years. And then we'll have plenty of time to accumulate Bitcoin even at these levels. And to be honest, if this scenario happens, I'm fine also, because even if I have to cut my short here and we see this price action developing here, that's totally fine also, because even if I buy Bitcoin here and it's not right here at support around 19-20K, it's just 18% difference. And, if we look at to the upside, probably a little bit more, it's like 20%. However, in the long term, these 20% of an entry better, how to say, like if I enter perfectly at support and I have 20% better entry, that's not that much, and it kind of cancels out when it comes also when you consider the risks. So I'm fine to start dollar cost averaging if we see these levels here play out and hold up. Also, I'll be looking to dollar cost average on the way down here, and probably also look to buy some bounce plays for some quick gains. So for example, if we see something like this and then a quick reversal before continuation to the downside, I'll probably be buying this dip and then just selling into the first signs of strength of the bounce, and then accumulating more Bitcoin somewhere in this area. The picture with Ethereum is not that different. We are also, after the merge, we broke down of the previous all-time high, which was somewhere around here. Let me just zoom out a little bit so we can see it clearly. So this level around 1400 has been acting as support for quite a while, but we broke down right after the merge. I opened the short here on the retest. Let me just move to the daily chart. On the second retest of 1400, sorry. So somewhere around here, I added to my position. I'm still net long, so I haven't added heavily here just because of the volatility last week and the uncertainty. I can still add more, but as we go lower, the risk of adding to a short is, I think, a lot higher. Right now, I'm satisfied with the size that I have, but if we get a nice setup, I might add a little bit more, same as Bitcoin. It's pretty much similar situation that we're seeing right now. So these are the two main coins that obviously I'm looking at. There are other projects that I will be looking at during the potential bear market that we want to see even lower prices and better opportunities for accumulate. I will share some of the tokens that I'm looking into, but before that, let me just look at my notes. I wanted to discuss something more also. Yeah. So what will happen here and what outs I'm looking at to and what will cause me to start accumulating is obviously first if this scenario plays out. So if we get a sell-off, at some points, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have volatility die out, and we're gonna have seeing people rage quitting. Everyone talking on Twitter about the end of the world and of Bitcoin. We'll probably be in deep shit with the economy overall. So this will be the time where I'll just stop listening to everything that's going on, just read the news that I need with the economic factors. But I think this is the moment where you need to just start buying stuff, whatever. If you're into stocks or into crypto, especially into crypto, I would just be buying every single month. So I will break down my income, and I've already been saving more, but even for the money that I'll be making every single month, I'll be adding to my positions, primarily Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is, the main thing that I'm looking at. If we start seeing this pattern of dying out volatility, and we already have a capitulation, so something like a major sell-off here, like in a day or two, this is where then I will be really, really, starting to enter more and more trades and actually more investments to be honest, because I'm not looking to trade that much into the bear trend, because I think the long-term risk to reward of just buying stuff will be much better. And also I'll be focusing on researching more and more new projects, because to be honest, I haven't had the time in the past weeks, and you have probably seen by whatever we're discussing in chat, I haven't posted some fundamental research in probably a month or two. But I'll get back to you. I'll get back to this in the next months. So this will be very, very huge part, I would say, for the bear market for me, because I think this is where you make the real money. Okay, Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's great, but if you could find a few good altcoins with good risk to reward, and if you invest even small amounts of money, as I said, like fuck you money that you can completely afford to lose, go to zero. This is where you could make real life changing amounts of money without risking too much. So this is really important to measure the risk to reward. Great, you did it, Mr. Ether, in 2018. Yeah, I know how you feel. Cool. So before I tell you what outs I'm considering, if you have any questions, just let me know in chat. I'll try to cover them. And let me just show you some of the altcoins that I'll be looking at. So I can divide this into several things. So the first major area I would say that I'm looking into are a little bit older projects. And I do hold Solana and Polkadot. And I'm interested also maybe in Cardano. I have to see how their fundamental developments are going on. But I see like they have a lot of like core audience that it's crazy about Cardano. So I might need to check this and dive a little bit deeper into Cardano. Also, I'll be looking into Atom. I don't see this. Yeah, Atom and Link are two of the older tokens that I want to have on my radar and potentially invest, because usually, you have a lot of backholders in older market cycles, but these projects are very strong fundamentally, and we also have sometimes winners that are here in the long term. Like, for example, Ethereum is the greatest example. It was just another altcoin, and look what it turned into. So I think Solana is a front row a leader for something similar to happen, and probably also Polkadot and maybe Cardano. These are my favorites right now for the next Ethereum, let's say. Then I'll be looking into, let me just use the search function. Apecoin is one that I'm gonna mention here, but in general, like collectibles, NFTs, and I wanted to open CoinMarketCap because you can see here by the tags, you can just click on games and gaming. So if I click on gaming, you'll see all the related gaming tokens. And what I'm looking here will be projects that are either infrastructural. So for example, Engine is like this, IMX that I have a small bag of is like this. Also this looks rare, the platform for trading NFTs. All of these tokens that kind of build the infrastructure are, I think, the key ones that could potentially survive and thrive in the future. And also what I'll be looking into this section is something like, excuse me, newer games that are coming into the market and actually that are going to be built, because there are a lot of projects even on this list. If you go down the list, there are so many projects, so many games that are not actually finished. So I'll be looking into cool games that are actually close to completion and have the potential to explode. This is one that also I'll be researching into. Another big section is layer 2. So if we look into Matic, Matic, I think, will be big, definitely. I still need to do more fundamental work. I still am not like very, very familiar with Matic and what they're doing. I need to get more into it. But if we just click on Matic and go to scaling here, you'll see major competitors. I think this could be another wave in the future that we have, of projects that are building on Ethereum, especially after the merge and the coming updates on Ethereum. This will allow a lot of projects to build heavily on Ethereum and pretty much scale the network for payments, gaming, or whatever else you can imagine. So this list is also not to be underestimated. And there are a lot of new projects, like for example, Starkware. I'm looking at it. And if you look Starkware, you don't even have it on CoinMarketCap. This is how new it is. If you go to Messari, you'll be able to find some basic info about it. Starkware. There it is. Stark is the ticker. But these are kind of projects that are still not on the market. So they will not have the backholders from previous market cycle. And that I'll be researching more deeply in order to find the winners. So Stark, Boba is another one. Boba is listed actually even on Coinbase already, which is always a good sign. Boba. Not that much price history, but you can see here, and let me try another chart, maybe the USD chart. Here it is. So not that many back holders, didn't have a full cycle. It was just up like 80, 90%, which is nothing. So keep this on the radar too. I also need to do more work on it. Another one is ZK Sync. And there are many, many other tokens on the list, but while I'm researching, I'll always share everything with you guys. And the last, but definitely not least, is also GMX and DeFi projects similar to GMX, which is pretty much, this is an exchange, by the way. It's a DeFi exchange. They have a very appealing, at least to my opinion, type of staking and reward system. I think they're paying into part of their fees are paid into Ethereum for their stakers. So very, very interesting. And they're not paying you in some magical token that it's, probably going to go down like 100%. Ethereum is something completely different. So I think this is a very big competitive advantage. They do have also, maybe we can look at it. They have also leverage trading on their platform. So, let me just click here. They have leverage trading, and I think this is also big and potentially, I think DeFi, if it doesn't get regulated out of the market, I think this still has a lot of future ahead of it. And I'll keep an eye closely on GMX specifically and on other tokens related to that, like SYN is another one. Also, let me just check my notes. What was the other ticker? GNS is also another one that I'm looking at. And probably while I'm doing the research, there will be many, 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 tokens that come out like this. And as always, whatever I find interesting, I'll definitely be sharing this with you guys. That's everything that I had to say. I'm not seeing any questions in the queue. So probably we'll end it up here. If you have any questions, guys, just throw them in chat right now, or otherwise, you know where you can find me. in Discord. How often do you normally have Zoom meetings? We do this once a month. I always send out the alerts, and it's usually either at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month. And we have like a review like this one. And, weekly, I also provide updates on what's going on. Cool, guys. I don't see any other questions. So thank you for joining and for, participating in this call. And as I mentioned, if you have any other questions, let me know. See ya.